Hello, it's Randy Dack and welcome back for another video. This time I got in the bandwagon pretty early and we've got two replays for you in the new Tier 7 Czech heavy tank, the Lioness Skoda T45. This tank comes with the new Ultimate Pass, also which come out today, and I was fortunate enough to actually get a couple of replays to show this tank a little bit early for you, just to see what it can do. But before we get on to that, I'll just talk a little bit about the tank. Essentially, it has two options in regards to guns, two 88mm guns. One is a single shot gun with slightly better accuracy than a second gun, and better rate of fire. And the second gun, which is a gun I would recommend using, is the 3-shot autoloader 88mm, which basically has 220 alpha per round, and yeah, it's AP and heat. The heat shells, to be honest with you, 250 heat, but the velocity is awful, so it's really not that great. And AP rounds, it's got 194 pen, which is not brilliant, but it's manageable. And yeah, that's the basis for the tank. The armour is okay against tier 7s and below. When you start fighting the higher tier tanks with higher pen, it doesn't hold up that much. And it's got 7 degrees of gun depression. But yeah, that's enough of that. Let's just see the tank in action, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so here we are for the first replay then, and we're on the new map actually. Don't ask me how to say it. Nomonomahan. But yeah, so we're on the new really done map. I actually quite like this map. I don't know if everyone does, but personally I actually quite like it. And I've only played this map once since I've redone it. But it actually seems quite nice, some of the extra rocks and stuff they've added in. So this is obviously the only time I've played this map since it's come back. So I've only played in this one sport, so I can't say I'm an expert. I've seen everything on it, but so far I quite enjoy it. We certainly had a good, we'll see. We certainly had a decent-ish game on the first one. So what I'm going to do is, you can see we've got a lot of support down this 1-2 side. I'm going to be quite aggressive because we are fairly top tier. I think it's a tier 8 game, but we're pretty decent tier, and I'm going to try and push all the way down to the bottom, basically to spot the enemy teams who anyone tries to approach our ridge, because I know I've got the support behind me, so I know I'm going to be able to get the assistance. You have to be careful, but that's my plan. Anyway, that's my thing. I've looked at the map, I've seen, yes, I've got support. I'm going to be aggressive because, let's face it, that's what I like to do. It's more fun, and yeah, I've got the support to do it. So we've seen another Lioness the other side. These are some of the rocks I don't think used to be there before, which it is quite handy. A little bit of protection from artillery, which is going to be going for us. Spoiler alert: the old fun police. There we go. He's landed his first hit, but not the only hit he lands all day. But yeah, we're going to push up and we can see if we can spot this Lioness. He's unfortunately going to dump his clips to me, and I'm going to dump my clip into him. But it ended up a lot worse for him because he basically lost his life because I had all that support behind me. The only concern, or the main concern for me now, is this medium to my left, because he has an awful angle on me. So he is my priority number one. You see I did bounce a few shots there, but now we're going to try and dump our mag and see. We did ammo racking, which was really nice. If we could finish him off, that would be great. Like I say, it's got 3-shot auto with 220 alpha per shot. Now we're going to try and get in behind this rock, because as you see my screen shaking there, the enemy fun police is still going for me. Fortunately, he's using the barrage gun, which is not as big a threat to me. It's an equaliser, and the barrage gun's not as big a threat if it's using a single shotgun, but it still can be a right nuisance, and we don't have that much hit points left. We got punished quite early, but it did come with an award. We picked up 721 assistance, and we made decent progress taking out 3 enemy tanks. So I'm going to try and push up now and see if I could spot any of the enemy team would be camping on their ridge. Knowing that I'm the furthest forward, and yeah, I don't think we have any light tanks in this game either, so there's a good chance I'll be able to spot them up, and then I'll get all the juicy assistance. We're behind this rock here, trying to give ourselves a bit of cover from the fun police because, yeah, we're a little bit scared. Physics scared me there, almost lost my tank because I started sliding around on a big rock. But yeah, we're going to try and hug this. You can see the assistance is flying in, so I don't really need to be doing anything else at the moment because I am spotting the tanks and I am getting the assistance, and tanks are being killed, which is, you know, inevitably winning this game. So I don't need to do much else at this point. I'm just trying to stay safe from the fun police, try and pick up that assistance damage, try and spot a few more tanks which I know are there, and see what we can do. So there we go, we've got this 87, we'll try and have a little chancy shot in it. The reload, one thing I should say about this tank, I played it out originally and I felt like it seemed a little bit slow and a bit sluggish. So what I did, I actually put both of the movement equipments on, so the powertrain for the engine power and then the other one for the increased top speed, and that's made a massive difference, I've found. So I basically run optics and then both of those two power equipment, and for me it has made a massive difference, and the tank actually feels a lot more mobile with them on, and yeah, for me it felt a lot more enjoyable to play this way. So that's what I would recommend running. Obviously the best thing to do with equipment, to be honest with you, you can take my advice and run what I do, but also you could just try out what works best for you. You might want to put, only take one of the increased movement speeds, and then put vents on just to get that reload down. Obviously you can't run stabs or the increased reload perk on this tank, so you're limited anyway. But yeah, play about with it, and then this is what works best for me, but you can see what works best for you. So we've got this Tiger, we're going to try and wait and get our reload in and see if we can finish him off. We have had a pretty decent game, got 2k assistance, 1,700 damage. My biggest concern is getting hit by the fun police here. We get one straight in for the side of this turret, second one in for the side of the tank with the AP rounds, picking us up another kill and a little bit, putting us up to 2,000 damage. So there's only 3 tanks left, yeah. You can see how our aggressive push paid off well for us. Obviously, if it's a tier 9 game, I might have played a little bit differently, but it wasn't. So that's my, how I chose to play it. To be honest with you, from the other spawn, I do the very similar things, but at the other spawn, I'd actually push all the way over, pretty much where that Lioness did against me at the start of the game. We got revenge there on the piggy, which is always nice. But yeah, that's what I pretty much do from the other spawn. I mean, I need to play this map a few more times to see all the little changes they do, but I quite like it. I'm waiting for my reload to go off to see if we can finish off, pick up another kill maybe, pick up a little bit more damage on this 87. Unfortunately we missed that one. We hope for the second one, miss that again. I mean, they're not fully aimed in. We're going to have to try and take a little bit more care of that one, but then we get that one through the cupola. I snapped it because I think it wasn't going to go through, but it does go through. And we're not really thinking we're going to get this kill, but you see the reload, it feels fairly okay, You don't feel like you're sitting there reloading all the time, which is nice. God knows what that shot was, but fortunately it doesn't get killed. I managed to finish him off, ending that game with 5 kills. I think we've got about 2,000 assistance. If we wait a minute, yeah, we've got 2,640 damage, 2,000 assistance, 345 block, and 5 kills. So a decent start to the tank. But stay with us, and we have one more replay to go, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, thanks for staying with us. So here we are for the final replay of the video, and we are on prop, which we like. We're also very top tier. I mean, very, very top tier. I think there's only a couple of tier 7s on each team. Yeah, and I'm one of them. So the pressure is on to have a good game. When you get matchmaking like that, you're thinking you really need to have a good game because it's such a good matchmaking and a good map. The only concern is obviously the fun police, as always, but it's a Armour. We'll just deal with it. So we're going to push up into the main ridge line in the middle, which is what we want to do on prop. We want to take control of the map, and the middle is certainly the place to do that. You want to take that map control and try and pressure the enemy team. So we're going to push up here, see if we can spot anything out. You know, also being the top tier tank, you know, it helps with our view range, and we spot this Tiger P in the open, and we get a very, very decent start to the game, picking up 6,000. Oh, that'd be nice. 682 damage. We're just going to move around a little bit now, try not to stay too predictable to get hit by the artillery. Hoping to try and make the artillery think we're going that way, but we know that most of the damage is this side, so we're going to come back and see if we can light up that Tiger P again. This is where I think I almost, or I do make a mistake. I really shouldn't be poking like this to try and get shots into him, because I did lose little hit points, but in the end it wasn't too bad. I only lost about 300 or so, and I managed to get a full clip in return, so I will take that any day. And you can see where I was spotting the enemy team up. We're picking up quite a nice little bit of assistance here, and this is what I'm going to do. Obviously, because I am top tier, I know I can bounce. The armour does work when you're on top tier. It's a completely different story when you're fighting tier 8s, etc. You know, they will be able to penetrate you quite easily, but when you're fighting these tier 6s and stuff like that, that's when obviously the armour, just like if you're in a Tiger, if you fight in a Tiger, you fight in, you know, tier 8s or whatever, they go through you like paper. If you fight in tier 6s, the armour's okay, and it's pretty much similar with this. So yeah, it's the ideal scenario for me at the moment. You see the Hummer Whiz going for me, but he hasn't quite managed to land a direct hit. We managed to get a few shots, putting us up to 2k damage and 1,000 assistance. And then we're now just going to back up, wait for our reload to come in. You see, we're not waiting that long to be back in the game. You know, you're only waiting about 15 odd seconds, and you're back fighting again. We pick up a little kill there. We're trying to, you know, the enemy are crossing down the 1-2 line. We need to really punish them for that, because we don't want them to get all the way down the 1-2 and then put us in an awkward situation. But fortunately for us, you know, by keeping them lit up for as long as possible, they are getting punished. Our artillery is actually doing quite a good job. You see the Hummel just missed us there. So I'm just trying to keep them lit. Unfortunately, when I try and poke for shots on the 1-2, I'm having to expose my turret to the left, and I'm then getting shot from the 1-2 line. So that's something which is in the back of my mind at the moment, which I've got to be a little bit careful. That's why I'm not overextending for these shots just right now, because I am picking up the assistance, and I don't really need to. But yeah, so already picked up 2,300 damage, 1,101 assistance, which is a bit weird, and blocked 405 damage. But yeah, they're getting destroyed now, aren't they, by pushing down that 1-2 line. We do get penned there, we do also block a shot, and this is where I go full crazy mode, thinking let's just test this armour against these low tiers, and see if we can pick up some assistance. And yeah, I mean, I could have died here quite easily, let's be honest, but this is what I mean. Against the low tier tanks, you can block a lot of tanks. You know, I'm always up to 1,000 blocked here. I'm thinking at this point I'm going to die. I'm trying to use this reach as cover, basically, just to try and... he's kind of helping me here. By him forcing me here and blocking that shot, he's basically saved me, because all the enemy can't actually get shots into him. And I ended up basically picking up almost 2,000 assistance, so it was well worth it, but a little bit fortunate. But yeah, that reach has essentially saved my game. If he didn't do that, my plan was to try and push into the bowl, obviously, and then get down and would have been safe again. But because of the way I pushed it, I probably should have died, but I didn't. And then ended up with 3,000 damage, 2,000 assistance, and there's 3 tanks left, but I've only got 100 hit points. But I'm feeling confident we're going to win. So at this point, I'm just going to full push in, hope to pick up a little bit more assistance. If we don't win, if I die, I die. I'm not that bothered, because I know that we'll be able to win this game now. Unfortunately, I missed a couple of the shots there, which cost me an extra like 500 damage there, or 400 damage, which is a shame. But I do end up picking up quite, ending quite a decent game. And this shows you that the armour does work when you're top tier, but like I say, when you are against tier 8, tier 9, don't expect to block all the shells what's just happened in that game, because you won't. But if you do get fortunate enough to get matchmaking like I just did, then it can work really well. So we only picked up 1 kill, but we've got 3,239 damage, 2,002 assistance, and we blocked 2,000 damage in the tier 7 tank as well. So yeah, I hope you like that. Do I recommend getting the tank? I'll basically say I quite enjoy playing it. It's not overpowered, it's average is what I would say. It's an average tank, but I quite enjoy it. But just because you get it with the ultimate pass, 6,000 gold for me, it is value for money, because you get, essentially you get about 2,000 of that gold back anyway, and you get, it seems like 6,000 gold seems like fairly good value for money for me anyway. So but that's up to you. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!